Formula 1-E arrives at Silverstone for the final round of the 2021 season. And of course, the main focus would be on the drivers and possibly even the Constructors' Championship. Coming into this race, 6 points separate the McLaren driver of Peter Hampson from Mercedes driver of Lewis Hamilton. An all-British affair then at both of those home Grand Prix. Which will come out on top? The momentum suggests that Hamilton might be able to edge it after a series of second place finishes, and also the fact that he has bagged pole in all but 3 events this season. But Hamilton has a slight issue. His race pace isn't as strong as his qualifying pace in 2021, and that's where his potential championship has let him down in the early part of the season, especially with Mercedes' early tyre wear problems. Whether or not that Mercedes say they have fully fixed it is yet to be fully underseen, but it looks like the improvements have been made to stop any last lap unnecessary pit stops. But whether the Mercedes will be able to get the best out of a tyre at a track that is demanding on the hard tyres will have to wait to be seen. But Lewis Hamilton closes the gap then in qualifying to 4 points by getting the 2 points for pole position. Stoffel Van Dorn is alongside, but it's an all McLaren second row, exactly where they want to be. Max Verstappen starts in 5th place ahead of Vettel in 6th. A good result for Lando Norris. He starts 7th ahead of Russell 8th. Perez starts 9th, and Carlos Sainz is the first of the Ferraris in 10th position. Outside the top 10 comes Fernando Alonso and Pascal Wehrlein. Those two separated very close along with Sainz. Wehrlein might be trying something a little bit different, like the Porsches like to do so far. Leclerc will be disappointed with 13th ahead of Ocon, and then the 2 Cheetahs, 2 Dragons and 2 Jaguars round off the grid then for today's British Grand Prix, the final race at Silverstone. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video of the F1-E 2021 mod, episode number 12 for the final round of the F1-E mod in this series, and indeed on this channel, because this series is on making way. I should say. I shall elaborate that more in a channel update coming soon. But then Silverstone, then it's a crucial race for the championship. Only 4 points now because of qualifying separate myself and Hamilton, but Silverstone's been my bogey track on this game. Haven't finished higher than 7th at all on this game, so we're going to have to bring it all at the back. We start P3. There's also some rain at the back end of this race as well, just to throw another spanner in the works. So this is definitely going to be a thrilling race, starting on the softs, moving to the hards. We'll have to wait and see if that is the desired strategy. So we start then from 3rd place on the grid. 5 red lights, and away we go. And it's actually a good start compared to Van Dorn and Hamilton. Can we go down the inside of Hamilton into turn 1, side by side through Hamilton. Hamilton yields, and we take the lead at the British Grand Prix, and then that'll be enough to secure us the championship. Remember, the points difference between 1st and 2nd is very crucial here. Only if we start falling down the order, then it comes as Hamilton has another go at the end of the old start-finish state, but we force him out here. There, I've got a tyre on the grass, but also the fact out of Brooklands I just never get good traction compared to the AI. But obviously we keep our footing and force him out. Hard but fair racing is. Interestingly, I should point out Charles Leclerc is the only driver choosing to start on the medium compound starting this race, and he's behind both Alpine cars, so he's only in P13, but we'll see if he comes back in as we jump to lap 2. Hamilton's gone wide at the end of the Wellington Straight, and he's made contact with Van Dorn, and is that Hamilton out or is that Van Dorn? out. There's it all round or whatever. So this is a replay. It just has too much speed, goes way off circuit here, and then he takes his teammate out. Wow, look, a replay with Van Dorn. You can see here he's already taken the normal line. His teammate swipes across him, and then he retires with the rear breaking up. That brought out a virtual safety car, but that came in at the end of soon after, and Hamilton is all over the back of us once again as we move to lap number 4. Ricciardo now up into 3rd place along with Verstappen. As we're watching Nick de Vries in the Jaguar car, he is unfortunately out of the race with an engine failure. Not that he is looking to add to his tally of 4 points so far scored. So yes, and as with Zandvoort, the left front is on fire. 105, not as bad. It's not as bad as in the Alfa Romeo as Zandvoort. That was like 107 degrees, but it's still bad enough. And on the approach to Magnets and Brackets, we're sort of having to get the elbows out to defend the championship. We can't allow Hamilton to go side by side with us and get past. So that means we're going to have to hold him up. We are getting well down this second DRS straight, the Wellington straight, excuse me. But we jumped to lap 8 then, managing to keep ahead of Hamilton. Verstappen as well comes in. Ricciardo will have the lead of the British Grand Prix as well. Sainz as well is coming in as the 2 Aston Martins, Norris, and the 2 Porsche cars go on through for another lap. So you can see hards for the Red Bull. I presume it's going to be hards for Hamilton. 2.7 second stop. Alfa Romeo, take note as the Verstappen comes out. Hamilton's been held. So what's happened to... Oh, he's got front wing damage. I wonder if that's a little bit where he might have made a little bit of contact. I haven't felt anything, but or seen anything really, but there we go. So Hamilton's got a new front wing. He's down the order, and that could cost him, but he's behind Verstappen now. And how many other places is he going to lose with the others making the overcut on the soft tyres? You can see here, he's getting cloudy. Typical British summer, like it has been out today in the UK. But Max Verstappen, he's going to make light work as Sergio Seta ran the outside into the old start-finish straight, and it's an easy move for the Red Bull driver. If you jump back to an RPV, Ricciardo's coming out the pit stop. He's trying to do the overcut on us. We're not really going to have allow him to do that. Fortunately, Ricciardo doesn't really get in our way. He knows that we're going for the championship and just stays with us really, as now we're approaching Yuki Tsunoda, who's got absolutely no chance. He's just sitting down this back straight with DRS, and we move up into what is P9 as some of the other lower cars, who of course didn't do laps on their soft tyres, make their start to make the pit stop. But this is Lewis Hamilton, and he's stuck behind a Porsche and an Aston Martin car, and Lando Norris as well. So he's down in the order in P8, so he's got a big recovery drive if he wants this result here today, the championship. But this is Charles Leclerc, our race leader, and Charles is out. Leclerc is out of the race. So unfortunate. So we're down to 17 runners already, and it's only been lap 12. We're not even halfway through, as Leclerc there is stricken on the left hand side. No safety car for that, so they're just going to wheel him away. You can see that Hamilton isn't that too far away on the mini map though, so it's not over the end of the road anyway. And I think Ricciardo might have an issue, because we jumped late to that lap out of Maggots and Beckett's with the DRS. Russell and Verstappen are both coming at Ricciardo. You see in the background, Hamilton is ahead of both the Porsche cars now. So and Russell and Verstappen are going to go side by side into the final sequence of corners. Russell keeps his nose in. Fair play to George for keeping his nose in. One-time winner this season in Azerbaijan, but Verstappen is going to out-traction him, or is he? Is Russell going to get the inside? Yes, Russell's ahead, up into second. It's a British 1-2 as we're looking at Norris and Perez fighting, and Norris is losing out to Perez. Porsche's once again using their advantage, medium tyres, as Ricciardo has fallen now behind Vettel as well, and Hamilton is right behind him. As we're watching now, Russell v Verstappen. This is quite a few laps later now. As you can see, Vettel and Hamilton have both come to join this fight as they both get the elbows out through into turn 1. Russell is back again coming into turns 2 at the following lap, but Verstappen will have the inside line coming into turn 3, and that will allow Verstappen to push Russell out. Jump to lap 19 now, and you can see here that Hamilton has dispatched Vettel with DRS and is now right on the back of this lot, and this is the battle for second place. So it's been a great comeback drive off screen for Hamilton, really, using the DRS to good effect. Hamilton, Verstappen and Russell both going side by side. The Aston Martins on mediums as well. As we go through the 3 wide, they're going to make it 3 wide. Hamilton goes there and there's contact. And I think Russell's lost a bit of his front wing, he has. So Hamilton is now up into second place. He's where he needs to be. Not to win the World Championship, but to take the charge to me, as Russell does not pit with that front wing damage. So we jump to lap 22 then. And you can see here it is starting to rain, but Jeff says it's not time for inters. DRS is still enabled, so again, that's just the wet weather on this game. But Hamilton, you can see there, is reeling us in. Obviously the AI have the advantage in these conditions compared to myself, so Hamilton's going to try and go run the outside there, but nothing doing there. We force Hamilton out, and Vettel is now coming back at Hamilton. So both of these, Vettel on the medium tyres, is the mediums the better tyre in these conditions compared to the hard. We'll have to wait and see, but you can jump to lap 24. Getting very sideways. Is that going to allow Vettel to get past Hamilton? No, Hamilton retains. Vettel's up the inside though. Is he coming around the inside? We got understeer. That's Aston Martin. So Vettel's through on Hamilton. That's big for the championship. We're not going to allow Vettel through. We want to win in our home Grand Prix. We make it round the outside, but this is very tense. Side by side up the Wellington Straight. Vettel tries to run the outside into Brooklands. Nothing doing there, and we retain the lead so far. Jumping to lap 25 though through turn 1. Again, we're getting very slow and we're going sideways through turn 1. We have to have a bit of an understeer moment to block Vettel off. We're gone understeering again. These tyres are definitely not suited for these conditions. We're done, but we defend. And Vettel, if we pit, it's not enough time to make the time up, I'm afraid. So we have to stay out, I'm afraid. We force Vettel out. Jumping now to lap 26, you can see the rest of the pack that was behind Russell being slowed up by Russell with his front wing damage is not coming through. And Hamilton there, I think, has come back on Vettel. No, that's Vettel on the right hand side. So Hamilton is there. We're going to force Vettel out, going down to the the second of the DRS straights, and that's going to allow Hamilton to come around the outs. No, it's Vettel again. Is Hamilton going to get involved? No. Down the inside, Hamilton, and we retain this into Brooklands, and coming through the final corner then. Maybe understeering a little bit, but it does not matter. We're clear of Vettel. We forced him out at Brooklands, and we managed to keep the gap, keep the car in a straight line, and round the final corner we come to win the British Grand Prix and to win the World Championship for McLaren. But this is a replay then. How tight it was, very tight. I think we might bang tyres with Vettel there on lap 24. And again, lap 25, Vettel tried the outside, we were on the inside. Hamilton tried it as well, just trying to see if he can get past, but his tyres were really done at that point, although he did manage to take a look there with Hamilton. This is Daniel Ricciardo as well, chasing after Lando Norris, and coming into Magnus and Beckett's. He had a huge moment for Daniel, and that's putting him down into P9 as well. And here was a replay on the final lap coming into down to the approach to Brooklands there. Russell went side by side with Hamilton as we were going side by side with Vettel, and Russell has the inside into Brooklands, and Russell is going to squeeze Hamilton out on the exit of Brooklands, even though he's got half a front wing on, and he's going to get up into the podium. Great job, as Verstappen has fallen way down the order now. Both him and Verline are missing front wings as well. So yes, it's been a very chaotic ending, very tense ending, excuse me, as we managed to hold on in the end to win the British Grand Prix. Finally, the duck at winning at home is broken on F1 2020, and it's done in the last race of the F1-E mod. Vettel and Russell finish out the podium. Great job for the Aston Martin team, now confirmed P3 in the championship. Hamilton will be disappointed, not unable to challenge us. He will come home in P4. Ricardo down in P9 as well. Seitz, I should point out, and Gasly and Bottas, by the way, both pitted for Inter, so I definitely think it was time for Inters, and maybe a few more laps in the Grand Prix, or if the rain had come a little bit earlier, we probably would have been sliding about on Inters as well. Ocon and Alonso unable to make that. Ocon finished ahead of Alonso, despite Alonso out-qualifying Ocon there. As well, but their drivers' championship. Then we have the championship by 16 points in the end, thanks to Hamilton only managing 4th place. Vettel comes home in a comfortable P3, Perez in P4. Russell and Verline were race winners in this series as well. Ricardo disappointed, he only comes in 7th. Van Dorn getting annihilated 8th. Verstappen only 9 points behind Van Dorn in the end, just to show how unlucky Van Dorn has been at times. And Norris gets ahead of Sainz in the end. Outside the top 12 as well, not many points scored, but there has been points scored by all but one driver, Valtteri Bottas. Nick de Vries and Esteban Ocon as well scored most of their points earlier on. Last couple of rounds, none of these drivers have actually been able to score points due to the consistency of the top 4 teams, and really Red Bull as well joining there. So the final Constructors standings then. We, as a McLaren, win the Constructors Championship to round off this series. Mercedes unable to capitalise thanks to Hamilton annihilating his teammate. Aston Martin finish very happy P3. Porsche will have to settle P4. Red Bull will take P5 after their woes with Jaguar earlier in the season. Ferrari in P6, and then Dragon, Techeetah, Alpine and Jaguar. Sort of those bottom 4 teams, unable really to consistently score points, especially in the latter half of the season, although Alonso did manage to get off the mark in the latter half of the season. Wasn't enough to lift Alpine above anything above 9th place. So yes, that is where I'm going to leave it today's video. If you have enjoyed this series and this series on the channel, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, see plenty more episodes of the F1 gaming content every week. But until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.